That shit was depressing.
I know. I was trying to bring it back. Like the whole chat going, damn, I'm depressed.
I had to apologize to Greg from our show, Bengals and Brews, because I'm like, because that's how I am in free agency. I'm like, because that's what I'm like. This is when you should and can attack stuff if you want to get creative with financial flexibility and this, that, and the other. And also when the season starts, I'm like, now I'm pissed again about the free agency, typically.
Right.
But the draft this is why I'm a draft dude.
Right.
And why I love it. Because
I
will always get hope out of the draft.
Yes.
And the negativity toward this draft, I honestly don't understand. But I knew I had no energy for John Sheeran yesterday. I got no energy for Joe and I love those guys. I think they're incredible at what they do. But I got no energy to be like, y'all see it differently than me, and I'm just gonna let you guys go, man.
That's where I was at. I love Satori. He was piling in on. I'm like, all right, well, train left the station.
Well, I told him. Hey, I said you picked up on John's vibes and you ran with it.
Boom, they were going.
I mean, I think the crazy thing is like I understand because I was not necessarily happy with the value of the draft, you know what I mean? And I went through my little negative stage for a second. Then I had to sit back and just look at things like from a different perspective. Like, okay, we have a new linebacker coach. We have a new defensive coordinator who is known to develop young talent. I'm like, Knight. Well, I don't know let me not go there. Just we got new coaches at these new positions, you know what I mean? And these are the players that they drafted. So I was like, okay, I have to really take a step back and actually pay attention to what's going on instead of just going by, well, on my board,
That's exactly what
I do it too. And that's the easiest thing to do is go, I could have taken Malachi Starks or Jihad Campbell. I could have taken Mike Green. You know what I mean? It's so easy to do that, but it's like, you're looking at it from a Bengals perspective, and then you're also looking at it from a good or bad. They love captains. They love leaders. They love good people. They got away from that one time, and it was Jermaine Burton.
And that's the
not saying Jermaine Burton's going to be a bust, but they got away from that one time. And how did that turn out in the first season?
And
slapped them in the face over and over again. That they look like. Why did you take him at 81? Because he had first, second round talent.
But that's the thing that excites. When I step back from the draft, what excites me about this is they went back. I mean, they didn't get a lot of captains, but they got good guys and football guys. They got more of the stuff, the workers. Yeah, the guys that are ready to go to work, do their job, and do what they can to contribute to the team. And that's the basis of what Zach Taylor has built here from the get-go is what they've wanted. And
let me spit. I don't want to cut into the Weinstein, but this is what, because, I have my own opinions, right? I have my own opinion. These aren't my so I decided to highlight and print out Dane Brugler's opinions, who most people respect, right? The beast, everything he does. So these are his opinions, and I was only about halfway through them before Greg and Chop couldn't finish our show. So, but I'll start over on your show.
Good.
Sorry. Shamar Stewart. I didn't know who that guy with him was. I thought that was his dad or stepdad. That's his D-line coach. That's his D-line coach from high school.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
So you guys seen the videos, right?
Yeah.
This is all in the beast. His name is Mo Marquez, former D-line coach in high school, became Stewart's mentor. Both Mo and his wife, because Shamar was basically raised by his grandma. Him and his wife and their two young children, they call him son. Mo and his wife call him son. The two young kids call Shamar their brother. He's their older brother. They look up to him. So that relationship is insane. And that's
right.
And he didn't even play any sports until age 12. He was picked last. This is all in the beast, by the way. I'm just not making this shit up, but
right.
Didn't play sports till he was 12. Picked last in 6th grade. even though he was a bigger guy, picked last. And it motivated him to become the beast. So it's like, how can you count out a guy like that at all? Like,
Right.
you know, he didn't have the greatest home life.
You want to get out of the chip on the shoulder to prove people wrong.
And he decided to get motivated about sports because he was picked last. And it's like, he's proven over and over and over again that he's that guy. And I know the sack production is not great. And I will not sit here and excuse the sack production. But in high school, and I know it's high school, he had a season with 15 sacks and a season with 14 sacks. There is finishing ability, and that's Miami, Florida. Devine, you tell me if I'm wrong, but Miami, Florida recruiting, I feel like that's pretty good football area.
Yeah, a lot of talent. Yeah, that's why we always saying, what's in the water down there? Something different. They eating some good food down there. They got some genetic modifications that messes with people's DNA or something, because they got a lot of talent. A lot of athletes come from down there,
and they can run. That's speed.
Yep, kind of remind you of them Samoans, you know.
Yep.
Bro, Samoans are fucking crazy.
Gotta throw it up there. Got Roman Reigns. Sorry.
Day one,
my child chief. Yeet. Yeet. got it. Child chief. Sorry. Go ahead.
Man, we're too white to be fucking being the ones doing that.
Hey,
I don't even watch wrestling, man. That's why, but I know what you're talking about because the guys that I look at, they're doing. Yeah,
that's how you know it matters.
Yeah,
it translates.
Exactly. All right, what else you got, Dale? Or go ahead, Devon. You got something?
To piggyback on your point, though, like, I did not want Shamar Stewart. I didn't want Michael Williams. I didn't want Shamar. It was somebody else that I didn't want, and I was like, please, Tyler Booker. I didn't want none of those three guys, right? And when they came off the board, I was like, bet. And I said, one more. And then when I heard his name, I was like, I was sick. Let's see. But as I go back and I look, like, yes, he's very disruptive, right? I put out there, and that was the first one I seen put it out there. But then I started seeing a lot of other people start putting it out there. The person I said I could see him being, if he doesn't develop his hands, is Jadeveon Clowney. If we remember when Jadeveon Clowney was in college, right? He had all the athletic ability in the world. Right, he had some production. Right, he had more production.
He had more splash. He had more splash.
He had that hit on that Michigan running back. That's what got him the #1 pick.
But
he had more splash
same
beyond that.
Yeah,
Shamar has a play just like that, though. You know what I mean?
I got
he does.
You did? Oh, see, that's what I'm saying. And I'm like, look, the guy doesn't have the production.
Dude, you tweet every 5 minutes.
I don't see a lot of people, but. It's like, you see the athletic ability. The athletic ability is there, right? You see the disruption, right?
Right.
And the one thing that I want him to continue to work on, this is what gives me hope, because we have Coach Munt, right? Mm-hmm. Coach Montgomery, I feel like he can help him with them hands, right? When he get those hands consistent and he actually have a rush plan instead of just going all out, because he has a motor. He has a white hot motor. Like, he is just going all in the whole time. But if he has a plan with that, and we keep Trey Hendrickson, and then Miles Murphy actually makes that step. Oh my goodness.
Let's go.
Yes.
Let's go.
Look at their RAS. Look at their RAS score, right? And I know a couple years ago, we had this big blowout on Spaces, because I was like, yeah, RAS is cool, but what I see on film has to justify what if I'm going to take the person. The RAS is just to confirm what I see on film, right? So I think people put too much. Yeah. So I think people put too much, like, in the combine. They be like, oh, this guy ran a 4.3, but he had no type of production. He's horrible. He's not agile, but he can run fast. No, I'm like, okay. But when you see him and you see the effort that he puts in and how hard he plays, it's like, okay, I can see it. Now, was he still a choice that I would have took? No, but I understand the vision. I see the vision, especially with Trey Hendrickson there. Yeah.
His ceiling is really
18th on my board.
Yeah.
I can't get past it. People were liking tweets of mine from January.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, I love it, but I'm like, there's 3 players so I retweeted it. Like, y'all gonna like it, I'm gonna retweet it. Like, I ain't hiding from nothing.
Right.
I said 3 players I don't want the Bengals to take, so put your money on it. Michael Williams, Shamar Stewart, Landon Jackson. I said they're taking one of the 3.
Hey, like 2 days before the draft, I put out a tweet said Shamar Moore just kind of. I said I'm kind of torn because I said I see the ability, but I also see the lack of production. But then I got to factor in Texas A&M and like how Texas A&M get all these 5-star recruits,
Right?
And they don't produce to the standard that you would think a 5-star, would. And then you look at the system, and then you look at how he was lined up in the 4I and the 4-tech, and how he was taking on double teams on a regular basis. It's just like, okay, but he was still able to get pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Then you turn around and look at Trey Hendrickson and look how Joseph Osai, and I know we've been saying this for years, Joseph Osai ends strong. He ends strong.
He's
If Joseph Osai,
yeah, this year, I think
he wants that bag. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dale. My bad, brother.
No. I wasn't trying to cut you off. I was just trying to tell Jeff next.
Dale's next.
So go ahead. No, you got it. I'm done.
So because I was wanting to pivot off of what you said, that's why I was like
fumbling through his papers.
Yeah. So Jimbo Fisher, which whatever about Jimbo Fisher, but he had a famed 2022 draft class. This is all Dane Brugler from the Beast.
Yeah.
I'm reading his shit, not my own opinion even. Which included 8 5-star recruits, 5 of them on the defensive line. Of the 5, only Stewart finished his college career with the Aggies. And I will mention just a couple of those names.
Walter
I
Nolan
know
one
the other 2 off the top of my head, but Walter Nolan is one, and LT Overton because somebody brought that up.
He went to Alabama, yeah.
And I thought he could have came out this year and been a 2nd or 3rd round pick.
Yep.
Like they had it's a lot of, and those guys didn't produce at all. They went to another school, produced incredibly. So
it comes
I'm just saying, there's a lot, and this is a 21-year-old Tim Rathscore guy.
Right. I mean, but that's the thing. That's the thing. It's like,
I see the potential. I see.
Yes,
the vision.
that was the thing with this whole draft.
That's all.
Like I said, I wanted who was the guard I wanted out of Florida? God, I can't think of his name now.
Guard out of Florida.
Not Rise now. Anyway, in the second round, I wanted the guard out of Florida. I can't remember his freaking name.
When? What year?
This year. Who's the guard out? Yeah, Ragnow or not Ragnow? What's I hate when I do this.
You talking about Radledge from Georgia?
Radledge, yeah, Georgia.
Yeah, okay.
Georgia.
I mean, Devon's got you too. I'm trying to get you.
Well, we drafted one out of Florida, so I wanted Radledge out of Georgia. But
hey, put me in the middle. I'm gonna rip a heater. It'll look better on the screen. Yeah.
Okay. That better. All right. Darren's always got to be the center of attention. I'm just kidding. But I know. My point is, with the linebacker they got in the second round, a lot of people had the late first, early third. But my point is, with the first 2 picks, Al Golden wanted both these. Al Golden wanted both these guys, and the 3rd round pick, our offensive line coach, he wanted that guy. So that's the thing I brought up yesterday. The coaches are our scouting department. So if they're going to be your scouting department and you're not going to listen to the guys they specifically want, then why are you letting them scout? So that's what I was trying to bring up to John and them. It's like, these are guys that they wanted.
Oh, dude, there was no point in saying anything yesterday. And listen, I love him and Santori, but I knew I should have never popped on that show. Honestly, they both look constipated and angry. And listen, I get it. I've been there. Honestly, I'll probably be if we lose to the like last year when we lost to the Patriots, I said, "Oh shit, we're in trouble."
Yeah,
I just knew the whole season we were in trouble.
But my point is, if they're going to be your scouts, then you should listen to them. If they're going to be your scouts and your coaches, they wanted those guys. They got their guys, and that's the thing. When they got Knight, they drafted him a little bit early, but that's the guy they wanted. That and Dale, you brought that up to me at the Project.
It wasn't that early. None of it was that early. Like that. Dude, I do this shit. I've got my whole next year shit. I'm working on it. I'm through the offense. None of it was that early.
Dale, what star was Kaiser? Do you know?
Where did I have Jack Kaiser?
Yeah, coming out of college.
He's a 6.
Coming out of high school. I'm sorry, coming out of high school.
No, I have no idea on that.
You don't have no because I'm thinking okay, if you look at Jack Kaiser, I know he wasn't somebody that I was really paying a lot of attention to prior to last year, right? Then I also thought about the production of Logan Wilson and Jermaine Pratt when Al Golden was here as a linebacker coach, right? So I'm looking at this like, man, and ADG had a good year that year too, because he saw more time on the field.
That's why he
Al
got
Golden
paid this year too, by the way.
Right. And wasn't Al Golden the person that called the third down plays?
Yeah.
Wasn't it Al Golden?
And that's why Jermaine Pratt was not on the field.
That's why Pratt wants to be traded.
Right.
Because he's gonna be in the field.
So think about that. Think about the two players that he drafted, that he wanted, that he pinpointed, that he wanted.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really see. I mean, the comparison to Jermaine Pratt with Knight. I mean, I understand like the stiffness in the hips or whatnot, but outside of that, I don't really see it. I think Knight has
downhill thumper part of it, I guess. And
yeah.
All
right, I'll tell you why I see it a little bit, and then I'll let you continue.
I think Knight has better instincts. I think Knight has better instincts.
But I see it because Pratt was a safety.
Right.
He was a safety. He was a safety in college.
Right.
And then when he transitioned linebacker and he bulked up, like, I was like, man, this guy can move. I love that pick in the third round, to be fair. And honestly, it worked out. We won a playoff game because Jermaine Pratt got an interception. Blood drop.
Oh,
I am not going to shit talk blood drop. He's just lost his step. It happens with age.
But remember though, Jermaine Pratt, like he drafted the guy in the second round that's Knight, right? Then if you look, he drafted Barrett, right, in the fourth, right? Yes. We drafted ADG in the fourth too, didn't we? We drafted ADG in the fourth, right? And
Logan Wilson draft. We drafted Logan in the third.
Yeah, all four of those guys. Yep.
Right. So ADG, the thing that excited them about ADG was what? His athleticism, right? Even though they didn't really use ADG the way that he was used at App State, because at App State he was rushing. He had his hand in the dirt. He was rushing with his hand off the ground. He wasn't doing a lot of stuff in coverage when he was at App State. He was attacking the quarterback. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He was good in the run game. Now when he got here, they started using him more in pass coverage, right?
Yeah.
Now
he should have. Like I would have loved for them to rush him.
Blitzing, yes.
Yeah, oh my God, he was.
But look at Barrett though, and what's the thing that you see with Barrett? It's like you see the formula. That's why I said I had to take a step back, because with Barrett is athletic. He's very agile. Yep. He has quick transition. He has very quick transition in his hips. Right, the dude can get sideline to sideline. He has the athletic ability that you look for in a linebacker that we don't currently have. Yes, and running backs out of the backfield.
And that we sucked at that last year,
man.
So that's where
and he's going to put in the work.
Yes.
Yeah, and he can blitz. You know what I mean? Like, what isn't to like?
I'll tell you what's not to like, and the only thing, because I watched it. I do a charity draft guide, but I love this shit. I get hyped about it. And the only thing with Carter is like, I wish he was a little more aggressive. It was basically this year. It was almost like he was playing it more safe.
He regressed, yeah.
Well, it's not even that he regressed. I think he wanted to improve his missed tackle rate, which if I go to Dane Brugler's thing, hold on, I'm flipping through.
I was if you remember the first 2 years, man, they was talking like dude could be like a first-round draft pick.
He was a 5-star recruit.
Yeah.
He was a running back. It's all stuff I want to talk about.
Break it down, Dale.
But it says straight line tendencies, locked in. This is Dane Brugler. Locked in, slightly heavier and tighter on the 24 tape. But even like the positives, broken tackle rate dropped from 20.5% in 23 to 10% in 24. So he broke it down. He slowed it. And Shamar could have done that, right? But he wouldn't have looked as good on tape for scouts. I think it all matches up. Like
they on the draft, they filled their needs. Well, I won't say all their needs. I still want safety, but they filled most of their needs with athletic guys who potentially can do what the Bengals need them to do. And you can't, as of right now, May 2nd, you can't ask for any more than that. And I think they got the steal of the draft. They got Taj Brooks in the 6th round. Me and Dale freaked out when they got
still in the draft was Jalen Rivers, man. And I know Devine, we were all on a live stream together, but I was
Yeah.
like, Jalen Rivers, like the versatility, that one, and I'm still going to stand on that business of my evaluation.
We talked about that before you came in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was saying. I said best case scenario is him and Fairchild are our starting guards. And, I mean, maybe not necessarily at the beginning of the season, but toward the end they could be. I think
But even
Fairchild's
if
going to
they're
be left
not,
guard.
I think I said that on the draft show. I was like, Amarius Mims, we all love him. We all know the monster he can be and why he was drafted as high as he was with limited snaps and this, that, and the other. He's had an injury history. You cannot brush that off.
No.
His injury history, if that pops up next year, do I feel good that Jalen Rivers can come in and start at right tackle for 2, 3, 4 games if need be? I do feel very good about that. That's a 5th round pick. That's why I love that pick.
Well,
and if you watched him I'm sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say if you watched him at the Senior Bowl, once he got his hands on you, it was over. It was a wrap. You can't break out of his grasp, man. You know, it's like that's why I said I feel like with his length, his power, you know, at guard, like it gives me hope. Like he can come in right away. I mean, can you imagine that monster next to Amarius Mims?
I know. That's what I can't wait for. I mean, that's freaking awesome. And
he had, but Devine. Oh, sorry. Jesus Christ. Sorry, Jazz.
Well, I'll just say what I said before, and I said on the draft show that we have the most depth on our offensive line that we've had since Joe Burrow's been here, and with Cody Ford and Rivers be able to play multiple positions, those two alone make it more deep than it's ever been. Go ahead, now you talk. That's all I want to finish.
No, and I thoroughly apologize.
You're fine. Go ahead.
I just get excited about this stuff. Like
that's all right, man.
Jalen Rivers. So I'm going to go back to the Dane Brewer because this is where I left off on Bengals and Bruce.
Okay.
Shitty show. Don't watch it at all. I promise. I'll be on here with Iceman. That's a good show. But Dane Brewer had him as at guard 9. You know, he had him at guard 9 for a reason. Because there's a lot of other people that see him as a guard. Like if that's why I also was like, dude, I know he don't have right guard snaps. He played left tackle, right tackle, left guard. I get it. He can play right guard. This guy could be a right guard, and you got him in the 5th round. It's insane. But the versatility is incredible. If he has nothing more as a 5th round pick than the first guy, than the Cody Ford position, he's up. All right, I'm going to say it. He is 10 times better of a Cody Ford first guy off the bench.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
And you got that in the 5th round. I can't understate. We were talking about it on the draft show. We were like, what the Ravens are doing with their, you know, they just constantly get O linemen. It's huge. And then we took Rivers, and I was so hyped for that reason.
Yep.
I was like, we were just talking about this. Depth, injuries, this, that, the other. Build it. Versatility. Build it. It will come into play because we all remember the Super Bowl.
Yep. Well, hell, the AFC Championship game the next year, we had our offensive lineman hurt. I mean,
if Jalen Rivers was playing in one of those games, I would feel damn good about it.
Yeah.
And the fact that they at the Senior Bowl, they had him taking snaps at center.
Right.
Which is, I don't see that, to be honest.
But just
versatility.
It shows,
emergency situations. Yeah.
Exactly. It shows versatility. And that's, to me, where I asked the question yesterday, is the offensive line better?
Position.
I can't sit there and say that starting it's better because I don't know. But versatility-wise, depth-wise, I feel that it's better. Yes. But again, to John's or Satori's point, we were saying last year, we thought the offensive line was fine last year at May 2nd. You know, we didn't think the offensive line was a problem last year. So you never know.
Did we believe in?
I didn't.
I did. I thought it was fine.
Did we believe in Cordell Volson ever?
I did. I'll admit it. I did.
I can bring up tweets where I was heated. I made a space right after I don't make spaces like that. I don't, so for me to open up a space, I have something to say.
I was pissed.
I was heated. I said, Zach Tom was right there, and you took Cordell Boson. Why did you? And that's another guy, 5 position versatility.
I give him that. I wasn't on Zach Tom like Devine. That's why I like Devine, because it's like I should have been on him like that. So my guy last year was Dominic Pooney.
Yeah.
I feel good about that one.
Yeah. He came in balling this year as a rookie.
Yeah. 5 position versatility.
Yeah.
Like that's it. Like when I put the Project Game Day draft guide out, because that's one of those things. Like, man, people can pull up anything you say. So you're putting yourself out there a little bit, right? But it's like, I'm doing this for charity. I'm like, all right. I'm like, I'll stand on business on that one.
Hey, just we made
good.
We made Robert feel better today. So that warms my heart. He was not happy with us yesterday. So.
Bro, yesterday was depressing as fuck.
I know.
I wasn't even invited in the first place. I came in and I was like going to try to get high, I was
trying. I'm like, I can't go on.
I was like, y'all lucky I'm at work, man. I was like,
come on. I don't even know what to say. Like, I just feel like I am out of place here.
And see,
I'm a positive guy.
And look, I respect your opinion, right? But it's just like the doom and gloom. It's like, I've been a Bengal fan since the 80s, right? I went through the 90s. You know what I mean? So if anybody should be like doom and gloom, it should be me. I remember Achilles Smith. I remember, Kajana Carter tearing up his knee and training. Bro, I remember all these things. You know what I mean?
Kenny Irons.
Oh, Charles Fisher. Second round cornerback. You know what I mean? Tore his knee up. Oh my God.
I mean, yesterday, the thing is, yesterday is like, I couldn't just dispute what they were saying. What they were saying was right. There's a lot of ifs and there's a lot of hope, which there is.
But it's
not
just like I'm trying to meet in the middle here.
Right. It's like I'm like I couldn't argue the other way. I'm like, yeah, what you're saying is true, but I believe that they're on the right track because it's not that they drafted a bunch of shit. These guys can play. No. They're good players, and the guys we drafted before. I still believe Miles Murphy. I still believe Dax Hill. These guys can play. They haven't got to where we want them to be. That's the reason Lou got fired. Good deal.
I was just going to say, and I tweeted it and I talked about it. 10 out of the last 13 picks in what I consider premium picks is the first 3 rounds.
Right.
Your premium picks. 10 out of the last 13 over the last 4 years has been on defense.
Mm-hmm.
Are you like, you can say, well, they're better evaluating talent, blah, 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 blah. No, there's a lot of talent in those 10 picks.
Well, there's talent, yeah.
They're like, I ain't going to say they drafted a bunch of they drafted a bunch of 5th rounders in the 1st, 2nd, 3rd round. That is not true. Now, Zach Carter, one of those. He's not here. They cut bait. It's over. Whatever. That's one of those. There's a lot of good talent. Jordan Battle, Miles Murphy, Dax Hill. There's a lot. You have to give them opportunities, put them in the right position and situation.
Right.
Which is a big part of the draft thing.
Well, and that's what I got frustrated last year as to why Jordan Battle wasn't getting snaps. Why Miles Murphy wasn't getting snaps.
Why didn't he get it the year before even?
Right.
You know these guys, Jordan
Battle, I thought proved his rookie year he deserved a shot at starting.
He should have been. Yes.
He didn't do anything.
Von Bell, Lou Anarimba. I love Von Bell.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3,000, motherfucker.
Yeah, Jordan Battle didn't do anything to lose that spot other than, they had a hard time getting lined up. That's what I kept hearing, lined up. Well, a month into the season, hey, it still ain't working. Why don't you try Jordan Battle? Sam Hubbard. God love Sam Hubbard. He didn't have it. He lost stuff. He kept getting injured.
Last 2 years.
You got a first-round pick from 2 years ago that's sitting there that you're not playing up. You got Joseph Osai, who we've seen a lot of good stuff out of. That started coming on.
It's why I'm most hopeful is because of the defensive side of it.
Right.
And I know Devine wants to talk, but it's because let the young players play.
Exactly.
And if you know what you're looking for, you know what I mean? Like when I watched Miles Murphy at Clemson, my biggest issue was he didn't have a rush plan. The majority of the times you seen him doing a long arm rush move. I knew it was going to take him time to develop to get in here, right? And I wasn't happy about the pick, you know. And the reason I wasn't happy is because I wanted an interior pass rusher. I've been screaming for an interior pass rusher every been screaming for one since we lost Ogunjobi. I'm like, we need another interior pass rusher. When we drafted Zach Carter, I was called a hater because I said I don't see it.
Hater.
I did the very day when we did it.
Me and Jeff was on the show, and I literally slammed my headset down and closed the screen. Jeff, do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
Look, bro, hey, when we drafted Miles Murphy, I wasn't happy because I knew it would take time, right? But if you watch Miles Murphy, now his rookie year, he beat Christian Darrisaw, who was a guy I absolutely loved during the draft, when the Jamar Chase draft, right? Because I was talking about people talking about Penei Sewell, but I'm like, hey, Christian Darrisaw is going to be really good, and blah blah. I thought he was going to fall to the second round, but he didn't. So he beat one of the better left tackles in the league around the corner, right? So I was watching, I'm like, okay, so you see the different flashes that gave you hope, right? But what side was he rushing from? The same side that Trey Hendrickson rushed from, right? Yep. Where have they mainly been putting him at? Over on the side where Sam Hubbard is, right?
Why don't they move Trey? Why
with minimal snaps, by the way, with minimal snaps.
Minimal snaps. But he's added moves. Yeah, he's added moves. He added a club. He's added a rip. I saw Miles Murphy last year do a Reggie White hump move. Yeah. And it was successful. You see what I'm saying? And I'm like, look, I love the defensive line. That's what I play. You know what I mean? I love the defensive line. So it's certain things that I look for. And I'm watching him and I'm hearing people talk about he's a buzz. He's slow off the snap. I said, slow off the snap. What are you watching? He has one of the faster bursts in the league off the snap. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, I'm hearing it, and I'm like, I don't see it. So I'm like, I feel like people should be patient, right? But I believe this year, I think Miles Murphy this year, with the extra snaps and with a defensive coordinator, I think he's going to have a lot better year. I think he may end up with like 6.5 sacks this year.
Opportunity.
Yep.
As I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, they weren't getting it.
He has not been given the opportunity to show his talent. I thought that was a good, solid pick. For me, he was a top 15, top 30 talent that went at 28, 29, whatever pick we had that year.
Now,
and I said, some development, but he's only 21 years old. I said he may need a year or two. Well, his growth got stunted because of Lou. Yeah. And that's why I would be a hypocrite if I sit here and said I don't see the vision for the last 2, 3. I will say this once again. 10 out of the last 13 picks in the 4 draft classes in the first 3 rounds have been on defense.
Yep.
There is talent on that side of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
We just need somebody to give them a chance and development and not have to worry about being pulled out. Because I think that's part of it.
Well, the thing is, the way they get better playing football
I make a mistake. Play football. I'm pulled out.
Right. But I mean, the way to get better playing football is to play football. I mean, you can practice all you want, but you can't replicate game speed or any of that stuff. You got to play. You got to give them something. You got to let them try and fail or hopefully succeed. You got to let
at least you know.
Right.
At least you know.
That's it. Good, Devine.
And to piggyback off Dale's point, before that season started, he was projected to be the number 1 defensive end taken in the draft. Then early in the draft,
he was the top 10 player.
Early in the draft period, he was number 2 to Will Anderson, right? He was the one. So if something happened in between there, this is why it kind of aggravates me, because I hear sometimes I hear our fans talking about, the Bengal fans talking about, well, he didn't have production just like Shamar Stewart didn't have. No, Matt Murphy had production.
He had a lot of production.
The issue was he didn't take the step that he was expected to take. You know what I mean? But Miles Murphy had production, and I'm like, y'all just gotta, so y'all gotta just chill. Just like with when we drafted McKinley Jackson last year, I was high initially on McKinley Jackson during the draft process, but I saw some inconsistencies and I kind of put him down a little bit. You know what I mean? But you had people talking about, oh, he was when we drafted him, we just drafted Tyler Shelvin again. What?
No,
He's nowhere near the same player.
And a little bit in Texas A&M, to be fair, because like
exactly
his season before his last one was way more explosive and good. They put their guys in weird, different positions. Wow, that sounds super gay in hindsight.
Super positions. So I got a question here. This is one thing that I'm curious if Al Golden's going to do is, and I said this a little earlier, is move Trey around because, like Chop said, Stewart can go. He can rush on the inside. Are they going to move Trey around, or is he going to stay on the same side?
Trey Hendrickson?
Yeah. Why couldn't they move him? Move to the right side. Move him around. Put him in different spots. Let him have different angles.
No, let Trey do what he does.
I was going to say, I think what they're going to do is, like, I agree with Dale. I think they're going to let Trey do what he does. But I feel like a lot of times when we watch Trey Hendrickson rush, how he leaves that gap wide open because he loops out so far.
Yeah.
I think Al Golden is going to use that. He's going to use Knight. He's going to use Barrett. He's going to use Jordan Battle. Heck, he may even use whoever our nickel is, right?
Right.
To expose. Yep, because teams are so used to him looping over. And last year, before he got sick, he was leaving that wide open. You know, the defensive tackle that just signed back with the Texans, his name is Rankins, Sheldon Rankins. He was leaving that wide open, and quarterbacks, running backs kept exposing it. I think Al Golden is going to, he's going to feel that. And then also with DJ Hill going back to his 3-tech, his natural position.
Spitting, by the way. This motherfucker spitting.
That dude is smart. BJ Hill is smart. BJ Hill played out of position last year. If we remember, let's rewind. Let's go back. BJ Hill to start last season was balling. He was the best defensive lineman on our roster next to Trey Hendrickson early in the season last year. He wore down towards the end of the season. You want to know why he wore down? Because they had him playing 2I. That's not his position. He's not big enough to play that position. So now you're moving him back to the 3-tech position. He's intelligent and he can be very disruptive, right? So you got him being able to control the guard because he has the strength in his hands, right? And he's able to look both ways. He did it when he was playing the 2I last year. So that gap that has been left open, that was left open a lot last year, you're not going to see it as much because we're going to have BJ Hill at that 3-tech position. You know what I mean? So I feel like I believe just because we got Slayton signed, I think that helps the whole defensive line. That's why BJ Hill was so happy.
We actually have a nose tackle. We didn't have one.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
we got TJ Slick, baby.
Yeah. I mean, so
which I called.
Which I didn't know. God's honest truth, I didn't know who he was on the side. I'm like, okay, now I look stuff up. I'm going, wow.
Well, and depending if you looked at ESPN or PFF, you love it or hate it. To be fair,
right. So I mean, I like it. It's a position that when I screamed, "Don't let DJ get on the freaking plane," I did not want DJ Reader to leave. Slayton, I mean, I'm not saying he's DJ. There's not too many guys that are DJ, but he's damn close. He's close to we're probably going to get right now. And then you got McKinley Jackson, who I actually liked last year. I'll tell you, I wasn't like ecstatic we got him. I'm like, I can see that. Well, I think, they drafted a little early, but they needed him, and they needed that interior guy. And I was impressed with him, especially toward the end of the year.
Hold on. I'm not sure if that's racist or not, Who Dey Mailman.
What?
Who Dey Mailman.
Wait, Devine looks exactly how I thought he would look.
Oh yeah, people have said that to me before. I don't take it personally.
Is that racist or is that just like?
No,
you got a great voice.
No, that's just what people say.
He's got the big beard.
I probably made it racist. Like you sound like Ice Cube.
No, hey, but Ice, to piggyback on your point though.
Yeah.
Down the stretch, we got to remember McKinley Jackson had no
None.
Training camp.
None. He played.
No, I mean one week of training camp, right?
It
It was
was
1
first
week.
day. It was the
The
first day.
It was the first day.
First day he got hurt. Yeah. So nothing.
No preseason.
Yeah.
He missed the first 4 games.
Yep.
So when he came in, he had to work his way through, right? Towards the back end, to your point, like you were saying, the back end of that season, he may have been our best interior defensive tackle on that line.
Yep.
You know, so I'm like, that's encouraging. The only thing that I feel like he needs to work on, he needs to, if y'all get a chance, go back and watch the game when we played against the Baltimore Ravens. He was beating Linderbaum's butt on plays, bro.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, well, if he's starting to step up towards the end of the season, you see the burst, right?
Right.
That should be encouraging to people coming into this next season, especially with now we got a guy that pays super attention to detail, and he's got a proven record of working with young guys and developing young guys. Like Dale said earlier, McKinley Jackson, not his last season, but the season before, he had got hurt, right? But he had like 4.5 sacks or something like that. And it was like he only played so many games, and he was playing
Texas A&M.
Bro, and in his stats, the way that he was playing, he would have ended that season with like 7 or 8 sacks, bro, at defensive tackle.
And I don't want to miss the point that you said. He had not even a full practice. First day of training camp, he got hurt. We didn't see him until I think it was week 4. Is that when he came back?
Yeah,
nothing. And he's a rookie. Yeah. And he's a rookie.
Week 5.
We
missed the first 4 weeks.
Yeah. We saw the flashes.
And that's the thing. It's like that's how I got more excited, because I'm like, dude, he's coming in here, first NFL game for first couple of weeks in the NFL. He's making plays. You notice him.
Plays hard.
That's encouraging, because again, he's a freaking rookie with no training camp, no nothing, and came in. Now we get a full training camp and everything. Who knows what we're going to get out of him?
Right.
So I'll say, even from my own draft guide last year, shout out Project Game Day and all we're doing, because I do love those guys. They're doing it. I show up, my scouting report. I show up late. I leave early. I don't do shit when I'm there. That's my scouting report.
You drink and hang out and have fun.
Yeah. But those are my guys. They're doing good things.
They are. McKinley Jackson, what are we going to say about him?
Come on, man. So last year he went late third. I was already on the way home from the Project Game Day event. And I was like, that's a good pick. But where did I have him on my board? 4th round.
I had him 4th.
But I also had him as the second best run stuffing D tackle. Mm-hmm. And I honestly don't even know if he's that after watching him this year. You know what I mean, Devine?
Like, he's not.
Like, he's more quick. And what he got those 4.5 sacks the year before, and kind of how I seen it on tape too, I think is what you're speaking to.
Dude did a spin move on somebody, and it was like a defensive end doing the spin move, and he left the guard in the dust and got a sack. I said, you don't see guys 320 doing a spin move like that, man.
Nope.
Is there a chance he's our 3-tech pass rusher because we didn't take one again, Devine?
I don't think so. Because we did just bring Cross in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's an undrafted free agent. That's a 3rd.
I believe Cross is going to make the team, and I believe Gregory is going to be on the practice squad.
And by the way, shout out to Jack by Joey Golf Outing. McKinley Jackson's going to be there. So you guys could actually ask him in person. Yeah, we'll just ask him. You're not going to be there anyway. You're not going to drive 2 hours. You're not coming anyway.
That's actually not true.
What?
I am really trying to be there.
All right.
For Maddie, not you. Don't get an ego.
What?
For Maddie.
Didn't show up to our birthday party, but going to go to a golf outing. God.
I called you. You don't remember me calling you.
I was drunk. That's not my fault. Actually, that is my fault. But anyway.
Good point, Christopher. McKinley Jackson has a tremendous get off. He has a nice surprise at the end of the year. He was a nice surprise at the end of the year. Absolutely. I feel like with his burst, to answer your point, Dale, I feel like they're going to use Shamar Stewart at that 3-tech position right next to Trey Hendrickson. And they're going to have Osai and Miles Murphy in there, like a NASCAR package, on certain downs. I also feel like they're gonna use McKinley Jackson as the backup nose. I mean, it is what it is at this point. I hope that
How do you
they.
feel about Chris Jenkins? I feel like it's part of the conversation.
I want to bring that up too. Yeah,
I feel like he should be a 4-tech and a 4-eye because that's what he played at Michigan. I mean, think about it. When he was at Michigan, what gave him that reputation of being a great run defender and this, that, and the other is when he was lined up at that position. You remember they had Grant and they had Graham, at the nose and at the 3-tech position. I believe like on obvious running downs, he should be the guy that's playing the edge. He should be the guy
he's
that's
a
playing
great
the
run defender. Like
yeah.
He went about where I thought he would go last year. But what is his pass rush upside? Because people that's my biggest beef with this draft class. Listen, I have glazed it over and over because everyone hates it.
Right.
But I'm like, where is that? And I can say undrafted free agent and Howard Cross. No, he ain't that guy either.
No, but he has something that a lot of the defensive tackles on our team don't have. And that's a burst off the line.
Does Chris Jenkins have any upside? It's my question.
I think Chris Jenkins, the crazy thing is, and this is what's crazy, he's a crazy athlete.
I know.
He is an absolute beast of an athlete.
Kettlebells and all the shit. Trust me.
He just has to, and this goes back to Coach Mont, hoping that Coach Mont can get these guys together. You know what I mean?
It's potential that we got to get out of them.
He has it. And the reason I wasn't a fan of Chris, and I didn't complain about it because I just knew Chris Jenkins.
I like the pick. We needed run defenders then.
I didn't. Yeah. The reason I didn't like the pick because I knew how they were going to use him. It's not that I didn't like the player.
That's the only pick I didn't like.
It's not that I didn't like the player. I knew, and I've said it in spaces. I said it, and I have tweets. I was like, bro, they're gonna get him because he had a high run defensive rate, and they're gonna try to play him at the 2-eye position, which they did at times.
Huge run on D tackles too. I think that's important.
Well, he was like the last. He was like the last one. If they didn't get him then, they weren't going to get him.
For context,
right.
It's very important. But Mason Smith would have been a worse pick, by the way.
Who?
Mason Smith that went to the Jags, one pick ahead.
Yeah, I didn't like him either. The one guy that everybody wanted was Sweat, but he was gone before we could pick.
I wanted Sweat. Yeah, I wanted Sweat.
But that's one of those things where we had 10 draft picks. Remember, trade up. You identify the guy, trade up and get him.
Right.
Yeah. No,
So we got a question. Devine, you don't have your own Bengal channel, do you?
I do. I'm working on actually finding some time where I can actually start doing videos. It's called Who They Vision. So yeah, just be patient with me. I'll let y'all know. I'll put a big thing out when I actually got it up and running.
Hey, my man is literally putting himself out there, coming on camera more because he's been controlling them spaces.
Oh, I've heard him on Spaces. Yeah, I've heard him. Well, I like listening to Spaces. I don't talk on them very much.
The first time, Ace, and shout out to Ace Boogie, right? Like, we did a draft breakdown of offensive linemen the year that DeJuan Jones. DeJuan Jones came out, right?
Yeah.
So that was the first time that I had actually been out, on camera. You know what I mean? So yeah, shout out to Ace. I just wanted to give him a shout out as well.
Well, you are a handsome man, so you should be on camera.
I'm a married man, so I know what I. Yeah.
Exactly.
But this guy, when it comes to the draft and stuff, like Jeff, no offense to you. I fuck with this guy way more when it comes to the draft.
Oh yeah, I just like having you guys on because you guys know way more than I do, and it makes me sound smart.
Bro, this like Devine, I ain't gonna glaze you. No, I ain't glazing you, but I'm saying this guy has an opinion, and his opinions aren't wrong. He puts in the work to give his opinion.
And mutual respect, because your draft guides be on point. A lot of things we're aligned on a lot of things, man. And I'm like,
I don't like that.
It's good.
It's easier, right?
It's good. Yeah,
well, this is way easier than yesterday's show. I'll tell you that.
hey, it's a guy on X, 24 Bengal. Gosh, please forget. I don't remember all of his handle, right? me and him don't see eye to eye on a lot of things, but we still follow each other, right? Because iron sharpens iron. There may be something that I see that he didn't see, and vice versa. You know what I mean? And that's how we keep ourselves sharp. We can't go in there thinking we know everything, because I've been wrong before too. You know what I mean?
No one does.
Yeah.
Like
So
exactly.
But just as Bengals fans, like, we do this, and I know that Devine does this. Like, we put in the work when it comes to the draft aspect of it, and more than that for you, Devine. Like, I'll be honest.
I've been
Sometimes
doing
when
this
it comes
since
to
the
the
90s.
season, I'm just pissed off. I can't even put it in the work I want to put it in because I'm just pissed off. I'm like, we lost to the Patriots. I'm pissed. The whole season's runt for me.
Yeah,
But,
like I told Devine on DMs, I said he's good on my list now. I'm bringing him on a lot more.
he is the
he's
guy.
gonna have to
He
get
is
on camera
the
more.
thank you, I
guy.
appreciate it. Well, to piggyback on your point, Dale, like since the 90s, like when I played football or whatnot, right? I used to watch tape of Reggie White. I used to watch tape of Warren Sapp, John Randall, and I would try to mimic the moves that I seen at them, what they did.
Right.
So during that time, the Bengals wasn't that great, but I still watch every single Bengals game. You know what I mean?
Well,
Yeah.
that we could. The ones that were on TV. The ones that were on TV.
Well, I went to several. My father took me to, several of them as well. So
I would watch whatever game was on NBC and then turn the sound down and listen to the
Yeah,
radio.
when they wouldn't black out.
Way too many Notre Dame games when I had like 3 channels back in the day.
Right.
Yep. And I used to be on the Bengals. You remember the Bengals website message boards? You used to be on those as well. Like, and I remember arguing with people about Bodine.
You probably argue with me.
Yeah, I probably was. But I learned. It was a lot of trial by error because I used to buy the Bengals report, magazines and read about the guys. I used to buy draft guides from Athlon and Lindsay and all these different people, and I would compare. And then when I started watching more college football, and it's like, man, that's not what I would do. And I would see guys that I went through the stage where I got hype off a guy's athletic score, didn't see them not paying out like Vernon Ghostin, and then it was just like
Buckeye homers, bro. Buckeye homers. Come on.
Oh,
That was the opposite direction, by the way.
Oh, really?
Like, I'm usually more out on the Buckeye guys.
Yeah, but the more that you learn,
to an extent.
I mean, I'm not so. Look, I was on record saying I was not sold on Jack Sawyer. I was not sold on. I didn't want to take TJ. I didn't want to take. I mean JT. I said TJ. JTT. I didn't want to take JTT. I didn't want to take Sawyer. Only one I wanted to take at the time was Talik, and that was before we got Slayton. I was like, man, I would. He's a run stuffer. I like the energy he has. JTT. Now the thing with him, he's had some marvelous games, bro. He's had some big flashes, right? But it was just too many times where it was just like,
I know.
I just didn't see, you know what I mean? And that's what got me about him and Jack Sawyer. Jack Sawyer was a 5-star recruit. I expected so much more out of him.
They both were.
Yeah, that's true. JTT.
I like JTT.
On there.
That's what I liked him a lot. Jack Sawyer, I wasn't as big on, but JTT, I like.
No, I think JTT, and he did go like 2 rounds higher in the draft. Like, I think he's a better prospect. He's better at a lot of things.
I agree.
But it's like, there's been something about Jack Sawyer, which is why, of course, he's a Pittsburgh Steeler. It's like,
you just cuss.
Yes,
they're the Squealers. Damn it, say the name right. Squealers.
The Squealers.
Don't be cussing on my show.
Yeah. But it's, they got him in the 4th round. It's like, come on, man. If he is going to have peak value of any place he goes, to learn from Alex Highsmith and TJ Watt.
James Francis. Yeah, I remember James Francis.
James Francis. What
Oliver Gibson. Yeah, and all of them. Yeah.
Wasn't he Condor? No, what they call? What was his nickname? Or was it Alfred Williams was Condor? One was Big Cat, one was Condor. I can't remember their nicknames.
I don't remember.
Y'all remember Kenny Irons? That one still hurts me. I'm going a little younger.
His brother ended up being decent in the league, but Because you remember he was a twin.
Brother. Hold on.
He was a twin.
He was?
Yeah, it was Kenny Irons, and I'm trying to remember his brother, I think, ended up playing for, I believe it was the Buccaneers. I could be wrong.
He had a twin. No.
Yeah.
He had a twin. I just didn't know how his career panned out.
I thought I could have sworn he had a decent career. I could be wrong.
Well, it was better
Alfred
than
Williams,
Kenny's.
yeah.
No offense to Kenny. Dude, I was so hyped. That was the same draft as Leon Hall, right? Because I remember going to training camp, and that was in Georgetown. Is it the same draft? Am I wrong?
I don't know.
I'm not sure if that was the same draft that Kenny Irons was in.
I sure Kenny Irons.
Leon Hall and then Kenny Irons, I think, was the first
Kenny Irons
round pick.
In college at Auburn, he went to the camera and it's like, I'm gonna get 200. And I don't remember if it was against Alabama or who it was, and he went out and did it. That's what I'm like, ooh. And then we drafted him. I got so hyped when we drafted him. I'm like,
bro, Kenny Irons was not a bad pick. It was just
it wasn't. He got hurt.
The worst thing ever. I wasn't a fan, Jeff, like you when Kajana Carter happened, like when it happened live.
Oh, shit. I was so excited when they traded up and got him. I'm like, oh my
Kenny
God.
Irons in the same, like, against Detroit.
That's why we felt like we was cursed. Yeah. I mean, because before Kenny Irons, we had Charles Fisher. Charles Fisher was our second round draft pick from West Virginia. He was a cornerback. He ran like a 4.
I'm going to be honest, I don't know who that is.
That was the first opening game in Tennessee. He tore his knee.
Yep, he ran like a 4.38 or 4.4. He was like 6'1" cornerback, and just tore his knee up, man. It was just
on. We tore the whole thing.
Hey, Jeff. You find your guy?
My guy?
Yeah, this is the guy. This is the guy about history. This is the guy about the draft. This is the guy about everything. I cannot give any more praise to any man, and I don't glaze people. Because honestly, I tell people I'll stuff them in a locker. I don't glaze people. Devine knows his shit.
He does.
Devine.
He does.
I appreciate it, fam. I appreciate it.
I don't bullshit anybody, man. I don't meet people that knows more than me too often. Well, I'm glazing myself now.
Hey, you got to get, bro. Your draft guide was look. I know we talk about Brugler, but we have our own Brugler right now. We have our Dale. Dale has a good.
Yeah, I'll glaze myself. Trust me, I'll glaze myself. I'll suck my own dick. Y'all know I'll do that.
I think we have a lot of people, a lot of educated people within the Bengal fan base, and that's the one encouraging thing. Met a lot of people through spaces over the years, and I'm really appreciative because I'm
appreciative of the spaces. I remember coming on there like 3 years ago. I ain't never been in a space, and I'm like,
I mean, you never did a space. You went on a space?
I've been on a space a few times. I don't know if Devine remembers this, but I remember after a draft 2 or 3 years ago that I was just like, boom, I'm gonna try this out. Hop in. I hopped in. You said, I don't even know what my name was.
Dale.
And you were like, what's your opinion on this? I was like, I got opinions. I talked about it, but it was a little too chaotic for me.
That's my problem with the spaces. There's too many people talking. I'm like,
no, but I was like, Devine does a great, and I've hopped in a couple others. I'm a random hopper inner.
I've tried to set spaces up and
fucking gay. I'm a random hopper inner. That is fucking gay as fuck.
Yeah, if you do set one up, Ice, just let me know because it's several people that I've seen, Bengal fans that try to start up spaces or whatnot, and there's not many people in there, and I'll go in and support. Like I met a lot of people through the Bengal spaces that started up pages, and I share their information. I'll go and try to tap in. I try to tap into everybody's their YouTube.
I'll support two people. You and it's Game On the spaces. That's the people I've tapped in. And I'm sorry, maybe that's the people that I've also got to know them as people.
Yeah.
I fuck with him and Game On.
Hey, let me get this $5 super chat from Dustin Croft. Dustin Croft.
The CEO. That's the CEO.
Get some love for Chris Crocker. Marvin would pick him every year, halfway through the season, and immediately better.
He probably
shout out to him though.
Yeah.
Hey, and shout out to Marvin Lewis, because Marvin Lewis was using Chris Crocker the way that a lot of teams use their safeties now. Back then, Chris Crocker was used as a slot. I mean, as a nickel back. He was used as a back end safety, and he played up to the line of scrimmage. So, shouts out to Marv. He had the vision. He had the vision early.
I want to back you up on the Marvin Lewis draft wise, like just as a draft guy. Marvin Lewis did pretty damn well with the draft.
He did.
Go look at the steals he got in the draft. That guy, I honestly, since Marvin's left, I don't want to be the asshole, but I'm going to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Marvin was killing it with the draft. And Hugh Jackson.
Round,
I give the whole staff credit because, it's a lot of it, but it's just facts. Like, you can look it up.
I mean, I said that just
that's what I'm about to do right now.
Well, look at those teams where Andy Dalton was the quarterback.
Carlos Dunlap, even Jordan Shipley in the third round.
Jordan Shipley, yes.
I've said this before. With the 5-year playoff run, just think if Joe Burrow was a quarterback then. No shade on Andy Dalton, but what if Joe Burrow was the quarterback then? We're winning a Super Bowl. We're winning. We're definitely winning.
Not even a question. Bro.
Yeah, I mean that offensive line, that defensive line. Yeah,
bro. I want to talk about his 4th round picks, right? Marvin Lewis, right? Let's go back to 2000. Let's go back to 2001, right? 2001, he took Rudy Johnson in the 4th round. Now, mind you, in this draft, Justin Smith was the first pick. Chad was the second pick. Cigarette smoking Sean Brewer was the 3rd round pick tight end.
You get one, and cigarette smoking Sean Brewer was the one.
TJ Hushmanzada was a 7th round pick that year.
Rounder.
The year after that, we drafted Levi Jones in the 1st round. Lamont Thompson, who ended up being a decent safety for the Titans. He only played 1 year with us. That was strange.
Fuck him. Whatever.
Yep. Marquand Manuel, he was a solid special teamer, and he played some starting snaps. We got Matt Shobo in the 3rd round. That was the athletic, pass catching tight end. We finally got Travis Dortch. He didn't really do that much as a punter in the 4th round.
The fucking name, god damn. Yeah.
The next year, Jeremy Johnson. Do y'all remember Big Jeremy Johnson, the big fullback, 200?
You know how many? Come on, we all know the shirts. Like
I remember
all the Johnson.
Then the 4th,
Big Johnson.
Yeah, then in 2004, Matthias Askew, he didn't pan out, right? That was a defensive tackle. I remember him from Michigan State.
It was a bad pick.
Yeah, it wasn't because he had high upside. He had the athleticism we were looking for at defensive tackle.
I remember it. That's what I'm saying. I remember it.
Robert Gathers, 4th round. Stacey Andrews. Yep, Stacey Andrews, 4th round. Pick. Eric Godchek the next year, 4th round. 2005 potentially was our best draft if
Eric
players
Godchek,
didn't get hurt.
No, didn't love it.
David Pollock was the 1st pick. Odell Thurman.
Now we're getting into pain.
2nd pick, Chris Henry, rest in peace. 3rd pick, Tad Perry, solid special teamer, 6th rounder.
You said Thurman?
Yeah, Odell Thurman was the 2nd round pick.
Dude, what could have been with him? Good God.
If mental health was as important then as it was now, Odell Thurman would have had close to a Hall of Fame, if not a Hall of Fame career, bro.
He
was a monster.
2005, though. Like, I've been to a few games here and there. Like, I graduated in 2002 from high school. I had a cousin who had season tickets right down by the tunnel. And I went there, and like it was the game that he put up the "Dear NFL, Please Don't Find Me" sign in the end zone against the 49ers. Like, I remember every bit of it.
I remember that. Yep.
So I was hooked. I was like, okay. But the fact that of course, like everything they had, I was like, oh man, we winning one.
Yeah, we thought.
Yeah.
Damn chemo.
I know. Demata Apeka, 06, 4th round. I'm gonna do it real quick. Apeka, 4th round, 2006. Let's skip
Petco,
2007. 2008, Anthony Collins, 4th round.
That's what we need.
Anthony Collins, yes.
Well, no, Jalen Rivers to be.
Yeah, I agree. Because you remember he left us and became a starter at Tampa Bay. Geno Atkins, 2010, 4th round pick. Jordan Shipley that year, 3rd round pick. Carlos Dunlap that year, 2nd round pick.
Only
Jermaine
because of
Gresham,
DUI.
1st round.
Only because of DUI.
Bruh, only because of that. Yep. But Marvin Lewis, man, the Clinton Bowling the year after, after that, Clinton Bowling in the 4th round. The year after that, well, we're going to skip that. That's Orson Charles. He didn't do too much.
Oh, God, no, we ain't going to skip it. Because I thought Orson Charles was a 2nd, 3rd round talent. To be fair.
They didn't use him at tight end. That was the problem. They used him at fullback.
He was an H-back.
Yeah.
Like, he was a modern-day H-back, you know. But it's like, you drafted him in the 4th round, you need to use him like this. Like,
Yep. Marvin killed it.
I'm like Dale.
Yeah, Marvin.
Yeah, he killed it.
I know. Jeff, I'm just excited. Dude, I love this draft stuff. And, like, that's,
I know you do.
Like, I love it.
Bro, look, 2013, Tyler Eifert, Giovanni Bernard, Marcus Hunt, Sean Williams.
Oh, stop there. Hold on. You cannot skip past Marcus Hunt.
I know he was 28 years old when we
Me, Estonian. Me, Black Pot. Me, 30-year-old man.
And you remember who was it that said that he was they compared him to JJ Watt on Hard Knocks.
What?
I was like, no.
No. Not a good comparison at all.
It's like, don't say that. He's not JJ Watts, but yeah. Rex Burkhead.
Rex Burkhead. He's still playing, ain't he? Rex Burkhead?
No, I don't think Rex Burkhead is still playing.
The Honey Badger is.
Honey Badger.
Marcus Hunt is it?
Hey, but to be fair, Marcus Hunt did become a decent player with the Colts and came back and played a year with us, but he wasn't. Nah.
Decent.
Decent. Hey, he wasn't with us though, but
bro, come on, that was a terrible pick.
It was. It's that height, weight, speed thing. It was the height, weight, speed thing. They fell in love with his athletic score, and that's why they drafted him. I mean, he did block a lot of punts, kicks, field goals in college.
Badger. It was so easy. Here's the Honey Badger. He can return kicks. He can play corner. He can do a lot of things.
I mean, it was easy. It was easy when the Saints offered us all those draft picks, and we still took Achilles Smith and declined it.
Why you gotta bring up that stuff, Dodge?
I'm positive.
I do know. I'm about that. Like, you gotta be kidding me. Not one. That's the whole draft. They were gonna give us the whole damn draft. Oh,
and we said no.
We got to draft Achilles Smith. For what?
Man, we could have took Dante Culpepper
for a few minutes.
Okay. All right.
We ending this?
Yeah, we got to end this soon.
All right. Well, I got to check on my dog.
All right, you check out your dog. I'll end this thing. Go ahead, Dan. You want to plug anything or just leave?
I'll plug your fucking asshole, you fucking cunt.
Well, that's not nice at all.
I had to disconnect. No.
Hey, he left. All right, Devine. I gotta get going, man. I gotta go.
All right,
boys. Hey, this has been awesome. We're going to do this again. You're going to be on my list. We're going to have you on again because I like the vibes. I like the good thoughts. People always give me shit because you're overly optimistic. I'm like, well, I'd rather be overly optimistic than depressed the whole time.
Yeah. Well, don't get it twisted. I have my times where I'm like,
I do too. But it's May 2nd. It's May 2nd. What's it to be depressed about? Let's see what the hell happens first, Before we go doom and gloom, all right? Let's see what happens.
Well, thank you for having me on, fam. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you for the opportunity. And who dey? Who dey, bro? Hey, tell everybody where to follow you on Twitter and all that stuff. Hey, let me pull up my stuff real quick because I got so much. Okay, you can find me as Divine Thoughts on X, at Devine. They didn't have the I available, so I had to use the E _ thought. And that's me on, on X. So hit me up. Catch me in them spaces.
Spaces. Check out the spaces. Like I said, I go to spaces. I just listen most of the time. But Devine, you're awesome, dude. Appreciate you. I'll definitely get you back on again sometime.
All right, man. Who that?
All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. That was a fun show. I liked that show. Not that I didn't like yesterday's show. It's different. Everyone have different opinions. And you're allowed to have different opinions. That's what sports talk is all about. You don't always have to agree with them. A lot of the negative stuff I don't agree with. But, it's May 1st or May 2nd. Let's see what happens. I think we got a lot of talent. We got the coaching staff. They changed it to different guys to develop the talent. That's what they need to do. And if it all works, which I have no reason on May 2nd to think it won't work. It all works. Go to the playoffs. We're going to win the Super Bowl. We're going to get that Lombardi. I can't wait. All right, let's get to my sponsors. And they are as follows. Priority Lawn and Landscaping. If you got lawns you need cut, you got flower beds you need cleaned out, you got a shrubbery you wanted planted, you got like a new landscape plan or design, you want something done, think Priority Lawn and Landscaping. Give them a call at 513-430-6114. That's 513-430-6114. You can also follow them on Facebook, and when you do, tell them Ice sent you. Also, shout out to T Properties. Quality housing for quality people. Check out the website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. And, of course, shout out to Meyer Windows and Doors and more. I keep saying the same thing, but it's true. I got it in my house. I highly recommend you give them yours for energy-efficient windows, great-looking windows, easy to clean. Matty Myers and his team are great to work with. They can do damn near anything you want, and they have the more. I'm not exactly sure what the more is, but you can ask them to find out. You need a front door? They can do that too. Again, Meyer Windows and Doors and more. Check them out at MeyerCincinnati.com. All right, boys and girls, this has been fun. This is where a fun Football Friday show is supposed to be. I'm about to get the heck out of here and go eat some delicious hamburgers and hang out with Chop and Greg. And Matty's not coming because it's raining, so he's not, whatever. We'll see what happens. Anyway, I'll see you guys back Monday. Bengals captain will be with me. Maybe Corey will join. I'll find out. Other than that, you guys have a wonderful weekend. The Reds game is delayed. Probably going to get canceled because it's raining like crazy. I'll see you guys Monday. Have a great weekend. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, because if I go live again, you get notified. I got 153 people watching. I appreciate every single one of you guys. You guys are awesome. I think that's it. Remember, Houday for life. And that's your sports, baby. See ya!
Weekday nights, the city roars. Tune in loud, turn up some more. Cincinnati show, it's time to play. Sports with strawberry ice today. 5:30 sharp, don't be late. CTV, the sports awaits. Strawberry ices on the mic, energy, it's pure delight. Every touchdown, every goal. Feel the pulse, it's in your soul. Cincinnati heartbeats strong. Strawberry ice will lead the throng. Every touchdown, every goal. Feel the pulse, it's in your soul. Cincinnati heartbeats strong. Strawberry ice will lead the throng. Feel the crowd, it's electric now. Shouting loud, they all know how. CTV got what we crave. Sports with ice, it's waves and waves. Tigers strike and Bengals roar.